Alright, we're live right now. Hey guys, Psycho94 here today doing another interview with ThePoster64.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Alright, now it's pretty simple how I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you 10 questions and you just got to say a response to it. It's like a question answer video, basically.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Alright, number one, what got you into Godzilla?
Well, actually, that's kind of a cool story. I was hanging out with my cousin, and we are just looking for something to do, and we decided to watch a movie. So we popped in the '98 Godzilla, and then I pretty much immediately just fell in love with the concept in the movies. I've kind of grown now. I kind of realized I don't really like the '98 as much as the Japanese films and the newer American films. But that's the first one I saw, and that's the one that really got me into the whole everything about Godzilla.
Wow, that's funny because like that's pretty much the exact same thing that happened to me, except instead of my cousin, it was my grandma who showed me. She showed me the '98 Godzilla, and I like when I was younger, I used to be obsessed with I mean, I still am obsessed with dinosaurs, but when I saw Zilla, I freaking loved it. Then when I saw Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla, I was like, what? I think so. That's why like Space Godzilla and Zilla are my favorite monsters because it's close to my heart, kind of thing.
Yeah, I gotcha. I feel you.
All right. What is your favorite Godzilla movie?
Favorite Godzilla movie? That's a pretty tough question. Obviously, I like the original 1954 film a lot, just because it got everything started, and it's just a really well made film, kind of with a different tone from all the other Godzilla films, or at least the more recent ones, of course. But I also really enjoy a lot of the kind of newer age ones. I really like the first, I believe, 1974 Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. That was one of the first Japanese films that I saw. And then I really also enjoy the Godzilla Tokyo SOS and Godzilla against Mechagodzilla. Those ones are all really good.
Yeah. I'm a Heisei kind of person. My favorite movie is Godzilla versus. Man, I dropped something. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. That's my favorite movie. All right. Number 3. What is your favorite figure?
My favorite figure would have to be. Oh man, I could list a ton of them for this question, but I really like the NECA 12-inch tall Godzilla figure that they did for the 2014 film. That one's really cool with the roaring effect. I really like that figure. The 8-inch Monster X is a great one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also really like the Bandai Creation 12-inch Final Wars Godzilla, just because that was pretty much the first figure I got when I got into Godzilla. I had a couple others just because I happened to have them, but when I really got into Godzilla and started collecting, that was the first figure I went out and bought.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like you answered, then I answer my own question. I don't know. It's something I just do. It's like
Oh
a
yeah, no worries, it's good. I like hearing the other answers that you
uh,
got.
like I have the 12-inch NECA Godzilla. I wasn't even supposed to have that. It's an accident that I have that. Like people sending, or not people, companies sending the wrong thing, but brand new still. So I got it for like $20 brand new from a site called Toy Wiz because they sent me the wrong one. I ordered the 6-inch one. They sent me the giant one. So
Okay, yeah, I think I actually remember hearing you talk about that in one of your other interviews when I went back and watched them.
yeah, that part is with it though. The little roaring sound effect. I was kind of really stupid when I was putting on the tail for the second time when it fell off, and instead of being smart and looking on the proper way to put on the tail, I thought, nah, let's just shove it on. That's not going to do anything. It won't mess up the sound at all. So now he doesn't roar.
Oh man, that's a bummer. The
But
roaring sound effect comes
that's
out pretty
fun.
well.
Oh well. But for favorite figure, I'd have to say I would say the SH Monster Space Godzilla, but it's just the crystals. You have to be careful that you don't get the paint chipped on it. So I don't know. If I had to pick, though, I think I'd actually pick the 6-inch Trendmaster Zilla because I wanted that figure for years, ever since I became a Godzilla fan, and I'm glad I have it now.
Okay, yeah. Are you talking about the one with the little blaster piece?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I have that figure, but I got it without the blaster bit.
uh, I got it on eBay for $15 new,
Oh
and
wow,
with like the
that's a great.
helicopter and stuff like that. It looks really weird though with the helicopter and the blue thing sticking out of its mouth, so I just like set those aside. But actually, that was the first video I saw of yours because I was doing an eBay bidding for it, and I wanted to see people's reviews of it, and that's actually how I got to your channel from that video. So, well,
Oh really?
yeah, from your Zilla
Wow.
figure reviews.
Okay, nice, thanks.
All right, number 4. What is your least favorite figure?
Um, that's a tough question also, because I can't, I like all the figures for the most part. Some of the ones that are kind of lower down on the list would probably be excuse me, the I'm not even sure which company made this figure, but it's like this really small, probably 3-inch tall Godzilla 2014, like roaring, and it has a little light that comes out of his mouth. So it just it just has a little roar and has a light. That thing,
The
it's
light.
not a terrible toy, but it's like it goes for like 15 or 20 bucks just for a little guy. So that's kind of not that great for its price point. But other than that, I really don't have all that many figures that I just don't like.
Yeah, my one friend has that light and sound Godzilla 2014 you're talking about, and the one arm keeps breaking on him. Like he'll have it on and then it'll just fall off and stuff. So
Oh yeah,
I don't have that. If I had to pick though, it would probably be the Smash Strike Godzilla 2014 if I had to pick because it's the only one that doesn't really look like a Godzilla figure in my opinion.
yeah,
I needed a Godzilla figure to represent 2014 at the time. That was the one I liked, so picked it up. Paid a
yeah.
lot more than
Definitely.
I wanted to. I paid like $15 for that, which is crazy, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that. The Smash Strike and the Tail Strike are they're not that great of figures. And I mean, they really are barely figures. They're more like kids' toys. But the price is a little steep on them. The detail, the screw holes are really obviously seen, and uh, they're not all that impressive.
Jurassic World, screw
Hmm.
holes everywhere.
Yep,
It's
reminiscent.
Hasbro's fault, and half of everything was screw holes. Even if they didn't make the figure, it's their fault still.
Pretty much, it just falls back on them.
All right. Number 5. Why did you start YouTube?
Well, I had been collecting for a couple years, just and watching people's reviews of figures, and I always kind of almost did a review of each new figure I got. I would kind of do a review, just not in front of a camera. I just kind of talk about it to myself and be a weirdo in my bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
Um, but and then I just decided, why not throw up a camera and see if other people kind of watch these videos of talking to about figures. And I always liked going onto YouTube and finding the reviews to see if figures worth buying or not. And I just like being able to give an opinion so people can to help people out with whether or not they think they should buy a figure.
Oh my gosh. Freaking. This is actually getting kind of scary. I mean, it's like half the things you're telling me, I also did. Like the little, I would record a little thing without a camera though, like just to practice it kind of thing. I did that too. I looked up, dang, it's crazy how many things we have similar with this. All
Yeah,
right.
it's funny.
What do your friends think of your collection?
Um, They don't really seem to really care all that much. They kind of sometimes they'll joke around about how pretty much all of my money I make from my job goes back into figure collecting. And they'll kind of joke around with me about how I waste my time doing this stuff, but they don't really. It's not like mean joking. They're just kind of being what friends do, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't really have too much to say about it. They'll always they come over and they look at the wall and go, "Wow, you're weird."
My friends are kind of the same way. They joke about it, but I don't really discuss my collection with my friends. I don't be like, "Hey guys, I just got this new figure," and stuff like that. I don't really do that, so I don't really talk to them about it. But my friends that do know I have a collection, they'll make jokes somewhat, but they respect it, kind of.
Yeah, yeah. That's almost a lot of my friends don't even. I'm pretty sure don't even know I have a channel. I just kind of started the YouTube thing to kind of be a separate entity from regular friends and life outside of the YouTube. So I don't think very many people I know actually know I have this channel and do what I do here.
Well, that's the way it is with my friends too. When I'll go and say that's like what I do on my YouTube channel, it'll be like, "You have a YouTube channel and all this stuff,"
Yeah.
and they usually subscribe because they're my friend, kind of thing. But kind of the same thing. All right. How has YouTubing changed you
Um,
when you started?
I wouldn't say it's changed me a whole lot. It's definitely made me more excited to kind of um, get new figures and kind of be in the realm of the first group of people to buy the figures because right when a new Godzilla figure or whatever drops, I always like to be one of the first people at the store to go pick it up so I can throw up a review quickly. So it's kind of changed some things like that where I like to go get the figures. I like to unbox things in front of the camera now and just share my opinions about it. But it hasn't really changed much besides that to a whole lot to a big extent.
Yeah. I don't want to say same thing because when I started YouTubing on this, I was like really nervous half of the time. I wasn't good with like holding a camera kind of system or lighting or anything, and I was just sounded so bland. I'd start a video and I sound like some guy narrating yarn or something really boring. But
Yeah.
now, now when I talk, I actually sound like I have emotion, which, or at least in my opinion, I sound like I have emotion more than just talking like this the entire time. All
Yeah,
right.
that's kind of the same thing almost with me. Like I look back at some of my older videos and I'm like, what the heck am I doing in this thing? I just sound like I could not be any more bored with myself and the figures I'm talking about, which is totally the opposite because I love talking about figures and stuff. So I've actually had some thoughts about going back and redoing some of my older videos and kind of
Oh my god.
just a new just revisiting some figures in kind of a new series, doing like a revisited and just redoing reviews that I'm not too happy with because there's definitely a handful of them.
I know I've already said this, but this is actually scary how similar we are in this kind of aspect. Like half the things that we're saying, we have like the same opinion on because when I actually started what you're saying, I did that for a bit, like because when I first recorded my videos, I recorded it with my phone and like it'd be facing long ways instead of like a normal video should be.
Oh
So
yeah.
it looked like I recorded it straight from a phone kind of thing. So what I did was like for the Zilla figure review, I went and redid that, and I was planning to do the. I have two more figures. I did the Bandai Creation Godzilla 2000 and 2004. I was planning to redo, but I never got around to it because I've kind of stepped away from Bandai, NECA, and all those kind of brands because I'm mainly just collecting SH Monster Arts now. Or
Okay.
at least trying to collect all the older ones now. But it's, I mean, it's getting there. I got six of them at least.
Oh,
So
yeah, it's not
I'm
too
around
bad.
there. What'd you say?
That's not too bad. That's a good start. I only have one. I just have the 2014 Godzilla. and I only picked that up because I was following something on eBay, and it just had a huge price drop, so I snagged it while the price was low.
Uh, I snagged mine on Amazon because they had a sale and it was like $45.
Okay, yeah, same. I got it for about there, I think, so maybe a little more.
Another similarity. Okay. Number 8. Do you collect anything else other than Godzilla figures?
Um, not really, not to the extent that I collect Godzilla. That's definitely my most prominent collection, where I kind of like to get almost everything that comes out and just have a really large collection. But from the channel, I picked up a couple things from the Jurassic World line. I would have loved to get more things from that line, but it was just not very impressive overall.
Same.
And then I picked up. I have let me think, 7 Star Wars figures from the Black Series. I really like those figures a lot, but I don't have the drive to really pick up the ones that I don't really feel like I want. So I just pick up the my favorite looking figures off the Black Series line, and then that's about it. I like to get little collector's items here and there. So I have some like a couple of those Funko Pop figures. Um, a couple other older Star Wars stuff. I have some old Pokemon stuff from when I used to collect Pokemon really hardcore. But most of that's I've sold all that off. But I still have my favorite stuff. So I have a couple little collections here and there, but nothing to the extent of the Godzilla.
Yeah, like I said, mainly just collecting SH Monster Arts now. I do have a small Jurassic Park, Jurassic World collection. I don't really. I stopped collecting that pretty much for the same reason you did. The figures to me were crappy, in my opinion. The only figures that I have, actually, the only figures I have of Jurassic World are the little blind bag thing because I wanted to see what that was all about.
Okay.
The Bad Boy Indominus Rex because I mean I wanted a giant Indominus Rex figure and that's the biggest one they had. So the Gyrosphere I don't know. I went full out Indominus Rex kind of thing. I bought the Gyrosphere one, the one that came with the 20-pack thingy, the small one, the Bad Boy Indominus Rex. I just went full out Indominus Rex on things. But other than that, I do collect some, or I did collect NECA Pacific Rim, I should say, but I kind of dropped that because after Tacit Ronin broke on me when I opened it, I just gave up. Seeing all the people breaking Jaegers when they open them and stuff, and I really didn't have enough money to collect other things on top of like SH Monster Arts and stuff, so I gave up on that.
Yeah, that Pacific Rim line would definitely be something cool to get into, and I almost did it, but I knew if I got one or two, I'd want to try and get the whole collection. And kind of the same thing, I just wanted to focus all my funds to the to Godzillas and stuff I was really passionate about getting.
Yeah, see, like I said, it would cost a lot because like the only figures I have of Pacific Rim I got like Gypsy Danger, Tacit Ronin, 2 Jaegers and 2 Kaiju. I got the Battle Damage Knife Head and the Axe Head, but I don't really use them like for anything. They just sit there half of the time. I mean, all my figures just sit there, I should say, but I don't know. Just with Otachi, I wanted to get Otachi, but the problem was he was like $80, and that's as much as an SH Monster Art. So it was like, would I rather have Otachi or an SH Monster Art? So of course I prefer SH Monster Art, so that's why I chose.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
All right. Do you play or have you ever played some kind of Godzilla game like the Atari trilogy or the PS4 version or anything like that?
Yeah, I've played a few of the Godzilla games. The I've not had a chance to play the new PS4 game because I don't own a PS 4, but it looks pretty impressive. I am aware of some of the downsides, but I'd love to give that game a try. I do have Godzilla Unleashed for the Wii, and that one's a lot of fun to play. I really enjoy that one. Mhm.
It's actually a kind of personal question with the Wii Godzilla Unleashed because I was thinking of getting that. How is that game? Because I never got a chance to pick it up when it first came out. I got the one on PS2, but how's the Wii one?
It's really good. I like it a lot. I'm not very aware of the PS2 version, so I'm not sure exactly how many differences there are between the two. But if there ends up being some differences, like improvements on, I'm sure there's some improvements graphically and control wise or something.
Well,
But if
based
you enjoyed the PS2, it's definitely a good game to get your hands on.
based on people's reviews of it, the Wii version and what I've seen on like YouTube from video comparisons, the one on the PS2 is basically like Save the Earth, but with tons of things removed, um, certain like quality downgraded, and new maps pretty much. While the Wii version has like all these cool animations and stuff like that, like Kiryu's tail goes crazy and all that stuff.
Yeah,
The thing that people say is like the controls are the thing that brings that game down.
I've never really had too many issues with the controls on the Wii version. Never really anything that bothers me all that much, as long as your Wii remote and the all the stuff inside the Wii remote is up to par. The game has worked fine for me pretty much all the time.
One thing I do gotta go and say, when you went and said stuff about the PS4 Godzilla, it is fun, but it gets boring really fast because it's the same thing over and over again, just with a different monster. And you could be like, well, you get a different monster each time. Um, the only mode I find fun is versus mode, where you go online and fight people. Although
Oh man.
sometimes it can get really annoying when you're like trapped in a corner and you can't do anything. Because in that game, they make the monsters, they don't make them balanced like well, I mean, when saying it out loud, it shouldn't sound balanced. Like Jet Jaguar and Destroya, for example. Jet Jaguar, you hit him once, he gets knocked back like crazy. Destroya, well, Destroya isn't the best example, but basically they make them like different tiers and stuff. And it's not
Okay,
fun when
yeah.
you can't play like Space Godzilla. You would think he would be a high tier because he was in the trailer for it and all these other things, but you punch him once, he goes flying. He's like really weak on
Oh
that
man,
aspect.
that's too bad.
Other than that, it's a pretty good game. All right, and we're at number 10. What is your least favorite Godzilla movie?
Least favorite Godzilla movie? That's a very tough question. Um, some of the weirder ones. Well, actually, I even like the weird stuff, like Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, and Godzilla versus Ibara is not that great. It just didn't flow as well, and Ibra is just kind of a lame enemy.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, that one might be.
if I had to pick, well, I could pick my top three. Like, obviously, Godzilla's Revenge and Sea Monster are like two of those, but if I had to
Yeah.
pick a Godzilla film that like people like and stuff that I didn't like Godzilla versus Hedorah. Like, I really didn't like that movie. I found it dumb in my opinion at some points. Like, for
Yeah, there
example,
were
when they're
definitely
all
some
in
parts
the
that were
bed
weird.
and stuff. I don't know. I didn't really like that movie. And in my opinion, at least, Hedorah to me is a dumb monster. Like, it's literally just a bunch of waste walking on. I don't even know if you could call them legs, but I don't like Hedorah.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the less creative of the monsters Godzilla's fought, especially looking at some of his more memorable enemies: Mecha Godzilla, Space Godzilla, Destroya. He fights all these really cool, memorable enemies, and then just to be like, he's fighting pollution. Okay.
Yeah, they have some really dumb monsters when you think about it. Like, you want to like every monster because, like, I love Godzilla. I want to like all the other monsters too. But when you think about it, like, Ebra is a giant lobster. Um, what's it called? Hedorah is just walking pollution. Um, Jet Jaguar is literally drawn by a 5-year-old. Uh,
Yeah, that's always sat weird with me.
what else is there? I don't know. There's a lot of weird ones.
Like Kamunga and Kamacuras, they're kind of
Just giant bugs.
they're a little dull. They're just big insects and arachnids or whatever.
Gorosaurus is just a big dinosaur kind of thing. So some of them just are really. See, Space Godzilla and like all the monsters in the Heisei era, in my opinion, are unique and they just are different because like Space Godzilla is my personal favorite, and for example, he's just different. Like no one's ever seen that. It's like Godzilla, but with crystals everywhere, kind of thing. The only thing I don't like about it is the name. I mean, I don't hate that the name's Space Godzilla, but I think it could have been something a bit cooler.
Yeah.
Like, if Godzilla Unleashed didn't steal this, I would have think that they should have named him, like, Crystalonk or something like that. If Godzilla didn't steal that years later. But I think that would have been a perfect name instead of Space Godzilla.
Yeah, I guess I kind of understand where they're coming from naming him Space Godzilla because it's kind of, I guess, in homage or something
Godzilla from
to naming, like naming Mechagodzilla after Godzilla,
I
and
know,
then
but that
since
would
Space
make.
Godzilla looks so closely.
I mean, I know that they were actually going to name it like Crystal Godzilla or something like that, but it's just they could. I'm just saying they couldn't name him something cooler.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
All right. Well, that's all 10 questions. So I'm gonna end the interview here, or at least stop it. Stop the broadcast, I should say.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. Link to the Poster64's channel will be in the description below. And I'll see you in the next video.
And subscribe to this guy. He's awesome.